Here we are back with feedback video number 3. We're going to continue on. We're on feedback line 100. Already talked about camping on site and parking. We're working on it. Hold the rally at a cooler time of year. Heat played a factor in our group's desire to want to hang out at the rally itself. Completely understandable. Use the indoor facilities the best that you can. There's air conditioning in there. There's a whole cafeteria with seating. There's a cantina. If you really need to get out of the heat, I encourage you guys to go inside and use that facility. As far as holding it at a cooler time of the year, I don't think we're going to change the second week of June date. Just not something we are interested in doing. And we have that date for a couple reasons. One, most kids are out of school at that point in time, so this can be an entire family vacation for people. They can bring their kids, their wives, their in-laws, whatever, and enjoy East Tennessee. There's Sevierville, there's Pigeon Forge, there's Gatlinburg, there's Townsend, there's Fontana Village, there's Robbinsville. There's so much cool stuff to do in this area as a family, and you can take the whole week and enjoy it together. And so that's why we're not really willing to move the event to the fall, right? And so we want to encourage you guys to get out and ride. So yeah, that is something we expect you guys to get out and ride. We also understand that there is some hesitation to come and stand in the hot sun for hours on end. But please use the shade tents. Make sure you're going inside using the air conditioning. Get out of the sun. Go get some beverages. Go hang out. Talk to the veterans. Talk to your other peers and colleagues, and go enjoy the indoor facilities. Stay cool. As a first timer, not knowing anyone, it'd be nice to have a map to the ride for the shed and the glow ride on the website, like some for the other rides. Yeah, I think I neglected to get this particular ride on the website. We did have all the other rides on there, but these two I did not. We will do better with that. Cooler time of year, 2 events, already talked about. Bigger tent, talked about. Why did vendors open at 4? I kind of already talked about this in a previous video. We'll come back. So we require that the vendors open up at 4 o'clock. That is when they are required to open up. And so that's what we did for vendors. And I think this is probably more directed it towards the main event merchandise booth. Why did we have to wait until 4 o'clock? We've done that previous years because we want to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity to get the merch in case something runs out. It wasn't because somebody was able to get there before you. You know that we're going to open at 4 o'clock and get that merch out to you guys, and everybody has the same opportunity to get to it. We are considering taking pre-orders for next year. That way you can walk up and just say, hey, I already ordered, my name's this. We can cross-reference and get you your merchandise. And you can kind of come at your own convenience. The other thing I think we're going to do for next year is add a second merchandise booth line so we can get you guys through much faster. You're not standing out in the hot sun for hours on end. And so that line isn't wrapped around the entire event. So we'll try to get you guys through faster. As far as the vendors go, vendors are welcome to open up before 4 o'clock. That's entirely up to them if they want to do that. The thing I will say is that these vendors come to the event also to enjoy the event. So if they get a day or a few hours in the mornings that they can get out and ride and enjoy East Tennessee and everything that it has to offer, they're probably going to take advantage of that. Some of these people came from the West Coast or the Northeast, right, or Texas or wherever, and they don't have the opportunity to get out and enjoy the event like the rest of us do. So the reason we do have that 4 o'clock start time is to make sure that you guys get a chance to see your vendors, and they are required to be there at 4 o'clock. But if the vendors do want to open up earlier, they're more than welcome to do that. One of the things that we have on our vendor feedback form is this question. And I think we probably will extend vendor hours a little bit more. to give you guys a little bit earlier opportunity to see them on that Friday morning. Raised platform for the announcer and the raffles. Yep, I think that's something we can do. We will work on it. And yes, the trophies were absolutely amazing. Wes Young knocked it out of the park with those trophies this year. Huge thanks to him. Went on a little rip. Little rip did not feel like a beginner ride, and my stock 23 Grom could not keep up with everything. Still not experienced taking in corners on the hill. Understandable. That ride, I thought we said it was beginner / intermediate. These roads here in Tennessee, especially if you're not from this area, are different, man. These curves and these switchbacks and the uphill and the elevation changes, I kind of take it for granted, right? And so I've been doing it now for close to 20 years, riding these roads on and off. So I guess I do take it for granted, and I'm trying to put myself in other people's shoes, whether this is a beginner, intermediate, or advanced type of ride. So I will take that into consideration on labeling that particular ride. I know Justin's really safe group ride leader, and he's probably keeping an eye on people behind him to make sure that everybody is safe. But I'm sorry if you felt like that ride was a little much for a beginner. Probably should have had a group ride meeting prior to that ride to explain, like, hey, there are some big sweeping curves. You will be going up and down hill on the parkway. This could be a little intimidating for somebody that's a new rider. And to expound on that, there's been a couple requests for a couple more slow rides as well. So maybe we can extend the group rides to include some more slow rides. Already talked about this. Campground special rate for the rally. We do talk to the hotels in the area. It's up to them to offer these rally event rates. We've tried in the past to do this, and some people took advantage of it, but a lot of people end up just staying in the campgrounds. I like the meet and greet. I plan on coming for a whole week, Sunday to Sunday. Yeah, I highly recommend making an entire week if you can. There's so much to do, and you got to try to pack it into just a couple days. If you can make it a whole week, obviously that increases your chances of being able to do everything, whether it's a weather issue or timing issue. Having a whole week to come down and enjoy East Tennessee is probably your best option. Better parking, already talked about it. Better speaker system, already talked about it. Wish that the glow ride had been scheduled on a different day than the other group rides. I'll take it into consideration. Maybe we can come up with a better schedule for that night ride. See what we can do. Go back to the old format. Already talked about this. Heard you loud and clear. We'll go back to some kind of mascot character for our logo. Don't learn wheelies at the stunt lot. There's a lot of pedestrians and bikes. I wasn't there for stunt shows, but there's a few unskilled riders and close calls. So everything else is perfect. I've been going to events for 20 years. Probably the funnest time I've had on my motorcycle. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, man. I think the stunt lot, there should be some community policing there. If you are a novice stunter, which I'm not even that, I'm not even a beginner really, I can barely get the front end up, but this really isn't the place to be learning how to do it. This is some place to give you an opportunity to do it with your friends and your colleagues and your peers. So if you have never done it before, there might be a better way to do this, and that particular pavement as it is right now is not skin friendly at all. So definitely not the place to be learning how to do it. Yep, make sure that people are following the rules and laws. More shading, better signage where the restrooms are. Try to do that. Talked about merchandise, maybe doing pre-orders for next year. Group rides are dangerous. Some people don't understand the staggering. Yep, I completely understand. The wheelies and stoppies are uncalled for. Yeah, I 100% am on board with you. We talk about this until we're blue in the face, and it's really up to the community to be better and police each other on this. Get more vendors and announce things better. Yep, agree, working on it. Parking sucked, understand, working on it. Possibly an indoor location. Yeah, guys, there was an indoor location. You guys could have went inside at any point in time. We do have some contingency plans if there is like just an outrageous downpour or the whole day is going to be rain. We will move the event inside. We'll get our vendors inside, let them set up, and we do have contingencies in place. But yeah, I highly recommend you guys go use the indoor facilities. There's air conditioning, there's seating, there's food, there's drinks, there's bathrooms. Use it. Yeah, 5% of assholes. I don't even know if it's as high as 5%, but there's definitely people that came to the event this year that didn't have the community and the event in mind. It's up to, if you can identify who it was, or I see it myself, I'm going to deal with it. But as a community, I encourage you guys to say something. Be courteous about it and just let them know, like, hey, reminder, if we're going to continue to have this event, you guys gotta follow the rules. Better signage, better parking, group ride safety. See, there's a lot of comments about this, guys. Like, you've got to be better people in our group rides. Don't be doing wheelies. Don't be doing burnouts. Don't be trying to zip past people. Like, just be good people. If you are somebody that just cannot abstain from doing those things, get to the very back of the group where you're not making people worried for their safety. Better sound system. Make Jason or Justin scream the whole time. We're working on a better sound system. Appreciate the compliment. Signage. Special meet and greet for first timers. Yeah, I like this idea. I think that's something we'll introduce for next year, making sure that first timers get a chance to come in and chat with the event organizers and let them kind of know what they can expect and what's going on. I like that. Thank you. More time and days for the event. I feel like I was rushing nonstop. I want to experience everything. The hunt was 2 solid days. Yeah, man, I understand. I get it. We're trying to pack a whole lot of stuff into just 2.5 days of event. Maybe we can talk to Chase to expanding the scavenger hunt a little bit further. I'm not sure how we can facilitate that. I don't want people to miss out on things, so I don't want the event to extend too many days in and of itself. Like, obviously you can come whenever you want and come ride and enjoy and go look at the group rides and follow the routes on your own, like those are posted up. So I understand if you want to try to experience everything. It is really difficult to do that in just the smallest amount of time that we have with each other. So I get that. We'll try to facilitate the best we can. Pre-order, already talked about this. Location, talked about it. Maybe have some event Monday and Tuesday. We had group rides on Monday and Tuesday. We had a slower pre-dragon ride on Monday. Tuesday, I think that was the Brushy Mountain Devil's Triangle ride. John Moore put that on, so there was definitely stuff going on Monday and Tuesday as well. Yep, we understand the space limitation. We're working on it. Better parking. Yep, working on it. Moved the rally back to Townsend. Really tough, guys. Already talked about this. The politics in Townsend are really preventing us from doing this. Also, a lack of amenities would definitely be a problem to move it back to Townsend. So we're considering options. We would, obviously Tiffany and Lee and I would love to just buy a giant chunk of land and set up, bathhouses and bathrooms and electrical and have everybody stay there. It's just not feasible. One, property in East Tennessee is freaking crazy expensive right now. Two, I don't have several $100,000 laying around to facilitate it. But yeah, we're always looking to make sure that we bring you the best that we're capable of and is going to appease the most amount of people. Start selling merch earlier and have more than one line. Yep, already talked about it. Have rides on Saturday as well. This is tough because we have so much going on Saturday. Trying to coordinate group rides during that day is probably a no-go. I don't know that we'll be able to accommodate that with all the stuff that's already going on Saturday. 3 days is not enough. Yep, we know. We already talked about this. It's a lot to pack in. More group ride organization. Yeah, already talked about this. It's tough. I get it. Can only do as much as the police let you do. One more thing, put cash only in the merch signs. Yep, we'll do this. I think we're also going to make sure that we have an ATM on site just in case. I missed the list for the rides and times and departure. I don't know if it was a lack of research or a lack of communication. I missed out. No big deal. Can wait for next year. So we did our best on communication this year. We had this posted. We talked about it in live videos. It was posted the night before and for the next day what was going on. As far as posting out the information, that was definitely out there. It was all on the website. We're going to try to make communication better for next year. We really, really want to have this app that we're creating out and available to you guys that has the day's events and schedules and maps and information, the need to know stuff. That's what we're working on. Better parking, yep. Drag racing, working on this. I've got some ideas to make this feasible for participants and us as event staffers and coordinators may have a line on this. Make more in different states. Take SMSBR on the road. We've talked about this, kind of. Not in that we hold another event in a different state, but we've talked about, me, Tiffany, and Lee and our families packing up with our bikes and traveling around the country for 2 weeks, riding with you folks in different places. So maybe that'd be fun. We obviously love meeting and hanging out with you guys and riding. So maybe it's something we can do. Merch needs to be open as soon as rally. Line sucks. Designs were better. Last year's, honestly, after waiting in line disposing. Additionally, the vendors didn't have much. I was expecting something like the small barber where there was much more available from the vendors. I guess I need to know more specifically what you were looking for from vendors. I know that Howling pretty much brought his entire storefront. So he had a ton of stuff. A lot of the other vendors are kind of niche, whether they're stunters or have had limited parts. Maybe they only do sub cages and pegs. There's only a handful that do a lot, and that would be like Steady and Drow and DHM. Some of them other ones have limited product to sell. I know a lot of them had a lot of merchandise and stuff. This is feedback that we get to the vendors, and we let them know that this is something that people want to see, and that's on them. And one of the other things that I think is interesting, if there's a vendor that you particularly like and they aren't at the event, let them know that you want them to come. You want to meet them. You want them to bring products. They can get a hold of us. We do a pretty good job of reaching out to everybody and inviting them to the event. But maybe we missed somebody, or maybe they just didn't get a hold of us. One of the two. Let them know you want them to come. Tell them what you want to see them bring. Let them know. Camping was confusing and super limited. Didn't have any plans for bad weather. Person I see merge with a mini bike swap meet. So we've always kind of been anti-swap meet at the event. And the reason I say that is because we want to make sure that you guys are working with the vendors that pay to be there. Like, they pay to be there to sell you products and get stuff from them. Also, when you get stuff from a swap meet, you don't know the condition of that product. So for instance, you buy a head for a Z, and you get it home and there's something wrong with it. I don't want you guys to be frustrated at us because you got a part that you didn't know from a swap meet and it was just trash, right? So there's a couple reasons we don't do a swap meet. Now, we do have the SMSBR for sale page, and people do that all the time. There's a lot of trading and buying and stuff going on through that, but as far as having something specifically at the event, we'll probably never do that. I want you guys to work with the vendors the most you can. They are there for you guys to spend time with you and get you guys the right product. And it's a good opportunity to talk to them and be like, hey, I've got this Z, I want to do a big bore kit. Is the 143 or the 155 better? What are the pros and cons? Like, this is your opportunity to go chat with those guys and buy those products from them. Get Honda. Yeah, we're working on it. We actually have a contact with them. Thank you to Steady and Drop for those contacts. We're working with them. Move the dyno and the wheelie machine. Yep, we're working on that. We're going to change how that works. More announcements over the loudspeaker. Working on that. Awesome. Appreciate it. Drag racing. Yep, we'll talk about it. Suggestions for cool back roads. Yeah. So if you search the page, right, and you'll find all kinds of posts from previous years about our favorite back roads to ride or our favorite restaurants to check out. Like, there are a ton of posts. You just kind of got to dig to look for them. So I encourage you guys to use the search function and say, I'm looking for restaurants or whatever, and there's recommended posts from us who live here. And other people who have come to the event and said, hey, this is what we really enjoyed. There's definitely a lot of stuff out there. So you guys can find that information. Yep, already talked about this. Like to see group rides. More group rides through Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It's tough. We got a little bit of pushback from the law enforcement agencies in both Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg for our ride. We'll see, because that's a tough one. So even having just the one ride, I had several phone calls with the Sevier County, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg police departments about our event coming. So we'll see what we can do about maybe adding some smaller rides, and it won't be as much of an issue for them. Keep air moving. I'd like to see man in the box at the events again. I know there's bad blood. There's really not any bad blood. Guys, we had some people call it a competition between the events. Theirs was the week ahead of ours. Ours was the week after. We had to swap dates one year. Guys, those guys are 20 minutes down the road from us. Tiffany and I used to go sit with them every year and talk to them about our dates and making sure that we are overlapping. Like, we're pretty cordial with each other. We get it. We have invited them to be at the event in past years. They have limited time. I think that the last time that we talked to them about this was the last year of Barber, and we asked them if they wanted to come. And they couldn't because they were planning for Barber and they would just be getting back, and for them to set up the week after was kind of problematic. And they've always kind of said if people have issues, they can get a hold of us and then come to our shop and buy parts. I have no issues with Greg and Kevin over there. If they want to be at our event, they know how to contact us. They have both me and Tiffany's cell phone numbers. They have every opportunity to come and be part of the event if they would like. We'll reach out to them again for 2026. So again, if you want to see them there, tell them you want them to come and be part of the event. I'm happy to work with those guys over at Man in the Box. More covered seating. We had the one tent. cautious on adding a second tent because it takes up space for bike parking in the field. But make sure that you guys are going inside and using the seating inside. More food vendors, already talked about this. Bigger location, talked about it. Parking sucked, working on it. More group rides, already talked about it. Larger location. More rider instructions before group rides. No doing wheelies in the middle of a ride. Yeah, guys, it's all common sense. But we try to have kind of a group ride leader meeting before the group rides. We'll try to be better at this and make sure that all that information is out. And the last one here, hold the rain away. Working on it, talking to the guy from the cloud seeding company to see if he's got something to block the rain from future events. So that's the end of video 3. If you've got any further questions or feedback, reach out to us directly on Facebook or Instagram, and we are happy to work with you guys. And we appreciate all of you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Me, Lee, Tiffany, we love putting on this event for you guys. It takes us an entire year to plan this and work with our vendors and making sure that we are doing our due diligence to bring you the best possible event that we can given the set of circumstances that we have. So I promise you we take this feedback very, very seriously, and we want to make sure that you guys have a great time every year that you come. So thanks again, and keep watching the page, watching for our announcements, and see what's coming up next. See ya.